Have you ever woken up and wondered why your body feels like it's been through a marathon, even though all you did the day before was some light housework and a bit of walking? You're not alone. Persistent aches and pains have a way of sneaking into our lives as we get older. It's like your body is trying to tell you something, but the message is often muffled by years of pushing through, brushing things off, or simply not knowing what to do about it. Let's be honest, chronic pain can feel like an uninvited guest that overstays its welcome. It can start small, maybe a little stiffness in the back or a dull ache in the knees, and before you know it, it's interfering with the way you sleep, move, or even how much joy you get from your day. That's why today's conversation is so important. We're diving deep into real, practical ways to manage chronic pain without relying on harsh medications or invasive treatments. Because you deserve relief, and it shouldn't come at the cost of your comfort, independence, or peace of mind. Now, before we talk about any fancy techniques or therapies, let's take a moment to understand what chronic pain really is. It isn't just a lingering injury or a bad back from years of hard work. Chronic pain is pain that sticks around for weeks, months, or even longer. Sometimes the original injury has healed, but the pain remains, affecting how you move and how you feel inside. What's frustrating is that it doesn't always make sense. You didn't fall, you didn't strain yourself, yet your body feels like it's carrying a heavy burden every single day. But here's the thing, even though pain may feel like a constant companion, you still have control. You still have choices. And those choices can shape how much space pain takes up in your life. One of the first places to start is with how you move your body. Now I know when something hurts, the last thing you want to do is move it. But gentle, consistent movement can be a powerful tool for easing discomfort. We're not talking about running marathons or lifting weights at the gym. I mean slow stretching in the morning to warm up your joints. A short walk in the fresh air. Even simply rotating your wrists or ankles while watching TV. Movement keeps your muscles from tightening and helps your brain release natural chemicals that soothe pain. You might be surprised at how something as small as walking down the hall or doing light leg lifts while seated can gradually reduce stiffness and improve your comfort level. And it's not about pushing through pain. It's about working with your body, not against it. Learning your limits, respecting them, and gently expanding them day by day. Another valuable approach is tuning into the power of heat and cold. You've probably used a heating pad or an ice pack before, but maybe not in the most effective way. Heat relaxes tight muscles and improves circulation, making it great for achy backs and stiff shoulders. Cold, on the other hand, reduces swelling and numbs sharp pain, especially after activity. What matters most is when and how you use them. Warming your lower back before a walk, for example, can make movement more comfortable. Applying cold after a busy day can help calm down any flare-ups. These small adjustments can become part of your daily rhythm and give you a sense of control over your pain. Let's also talk about something that doesn't get enough credit: breathing. Yes, simple breathing. Not the shallow, rushed breaths we take when we're stressed or distracted, but deep, intentional breathing that signals the body to relax. Pain and stress are like old friends that feed off each other. When you're in pain, your stress goes up. And when your stress goes up, the pain feels worse. But the moment you pause, sit comfortably, close your eyes, and take a slow breath in through your nose, then gently release it through your mouth, you're telling your body it's safe. That moment of calm can break the cycle of tension that amplifies pain. Practicing just a few minutes of deep breathing a couple of times a day can ease the discomfort in ways you might not expect. It won't take the pain away completely, but it softens it. And sometimes that's enough to help you get through the day with more ease. Another gentle, nurturing practice worth exploring is warm water therapy. If you have access to a bathtub or a warm pool, take advantage of it. Water supports your body, relieving pressure on joints while allowing you to move freely. Even a short soak can help muscles loosen up and pain melt away. There's something soothing and healing about warm water. It's not just physical relief, it brings mental peace too. That quiet time in the water gives you a chance to tune in, breathe deeply, and reconnect with your body in a loving, patient way. Pain has a way of making you feel like you've lost control, like it's calling the shots. But through mindful movement, gentle heat or cold, deep breathing, and warm water therapy, you begin to reclaim your sense of agency. These are not quick fixes. They are lifestyle shifts. Simple, approachable steps that, over time, can create real change in how you feel, how you move, and how you experience life. And if it all feels like a lot, don't worry. No one's expecting you to do everything all at once. The most important thing is to begin. Start with what feels doable. Maybe it's a 2-minute walk. Maybe it's just one deep breath before bed. Whatever you choose, you're already moving in the right direction. One of the most frustrating things about chronic pain is how unpredictable it can be. Some days you feel like you're managing just fine, and then out of nowhere, a dull ache becomes a sharp reminder that your body needs something different. That unpredictability can wear you down. It's not just about the pain itself, it's the way it interrupts your plans, your mood, even your sense of self. And when that happens often enough, you start feeling like you're living at the mercy of your body. That's why understanding your own rhythm is such a powerful shift. Everyone's body has patterns. There are times of the day when you feel stronger, more mobile, and then there are times when things tighten up or fatigue sets in faster. Paying close attention to when you feel your best, even if it's just a small window, helps you plan your activities around your body's natural cycle. Whether it's doing your errands earlier in the morning or saving rest for the late afternoon, honoring your own rhythm can reduce stress and help you feel more in control. You're not working against your pain, you're working around it with intention. And while your daily rhythm matters, so does what you put into your body. The connection between food and chronic pain is often underestimated. Certain foods, especially those high in added sugars or processed ingredients, can quietly increase inflammation in your body. That inflammation doesn't always show up as swelling. Sometimes it's that deeper, persistent soreness that just won't go away. The good news is you don't have to overhaul your entire diet to notice a difference. Even small changes, like including more colorful vegetables or drinking more water throughout the day, can slowly begin to ease the tension in your joints and muscles. What's really fascinating is how some foods naturally help the body quiet inflammation. Think about adding just a little bit of turmeric or ginger to your meals, or sipping a cup of green tea in the afternoon instead of reaching for a sugary snack. These simple shifts are like tiny acts of kindness toward your body, and over time, they add up in powerful ways. You may even find that certain foods trigger more discomfort than others. Tuning into those patterns gives you a personal map of what helps and what hurts. Another way to support your body's healing process is by getting better quality rest. Now, that doesn't always mean more hours of sleep. It's really about the kind of rest that leaves you feeling restored, even if the night was shorter than you'd like. Chronic pain and sleep problems often go hand in hand. The discomfort makes it harder to fall asleep or stay asleep, and then poor sleep leaves your body more sensitive to pain the next day. It's a vicious cycle that can feel impossible to break. But creating a calming bedtime routine can make a huge difference. That might mean lowering the lights an hour before bed, turning off the television, or listening to soothing music that helps your nervous system settle. Sometimes even something as simple as using a weighted blanket or adding a lavender sachet to your pillow can signal your body that it's time to relax. It's not just about falling asleep faster, it's about sending your body the message that it's safe enough to let go of the day's tension. When your nervous system feels calm, your pain often loses some of its intensity, even if just slightly. And that little bit of relief can set the tone for a gentler, more manageable day ahead. Now, it's easy to feel isolated when you're dealing with ongoing pain. You might not want to talk about it all the time, or you may worry that others don't really understand what you're going through. But connecting with others who share similar experiences can be surprisingly healing. Whether that's through a local support group, an online community, or even a weekly phone call with a friend who understands, having someone to talk to lightens the emotional load. Chronic pain isn't just physical. It affects how we think, how we cope, how we see ourselves. Just knowing that you're not alone in what you're feeling can make the experience less overwhelming. Even a conversation with someone who's walking a different path but knows the weight of daily discomfort can bring comfort. Sometimes they'll have a tip that never occurred to you. Other times, they'll simply listen without judgment. And that in itself is healing. Human connection reminds you that you're still seen, still valued, still part of something bigger than your pain. Let's not forget the role of laughter. It might sound odd in a conversation about chronic pain, but finding moments of genuine laughter, even if they're brief, shifts your body's chemistry in the most beautiful way. Laughter reduces stress hormones and increases your body's natural painkillers. Whether it's watching a funny show, talking to someone who makes you smile, or even laughing at yourself in a lighthearted way, these moments can bring real, measurable relief. They also reconnect you with the joyful, playful parts of life that pain sometimes tries to hide from view. What makes all of this work is consistency. It's not about big changes all at once. It's about making space a little each day to try something new or to return to something that used to bring comfort. Maybe today you focus on listening to your body's rhythm. Tomorrow you adjust your meals. The day after that, you laugh with a friend. None of these steps are too small. They're seeds, quiet, steady, and full of possibility. Pain has a way of shrinking your world, but these small, intentional choices begin to stretch it back open. You begin to remember that you still have agency, you still have tools, and you're still learning new ways to live well, even with the challenges that come your way. And that journey, even when it's slow and steady, is worth every step. There's something powerful about reclaiming the small parts of your day that pain has taken over. Moments like getting out of bed without bracing yourself, or walking across the room without holding your breath, these are often the victories that go unnoticed by others, but they mean everything when you're living with chronic discomfort. One way to support those little victories is by incorporating gentle bodywork into your routine, things that encourage blood flow, soothe tension, and create a sense of calm deep beneath the surface. Massage, for instance, doesn't just feel good. It actually helps interrupt the pain signals being sent to the brain. Whether it's a professional session or simply using a handheld massager at home, the pressure and motion stimulate your body's healing responses. Some people find that even self-massage, like using your fingertips to gently press around a sore knee or a tight shoulder, can ease discomfort. It becomes not just a tool for relief, but a way to reconnect with your body in a kind and patient way. Another gentle approach is temperature therapy, alternating between warmth and coolness to calm irritated areas. A warm compress or a soak in a comfortably hot bath can relax muscles and loosen stiff joints. Cold packs, on the other hand, help reduce swelling and numb sharp pain. The key isn't in choosing one over the other, but in learning what your body needs in different moments. It's a form of communication, really. A dialogue between you and your body where you listen, respond, and adjust. But beyond physical therapies, the way we talk to ourselves can shape our pain experience more than we might realize. It's easy, after years of discomfort, to fall into patterns of frustration, doubt, or defeat. That inner voice starts saying things like, "This will never get better," or "I can't do anything anymore." And over time, those thoughts become just as heavy as the pain itself. Reframing that inner dialogue can be a quiet but profound shift. Instead of saying, "My body is broken," try saying, "My body is doing its best to heal." Instead of, "I can't do this anymore," maybe it's, "I'm finding a new way to approach this." It may feel awkward at first, but speaking to yourself with the same compassion you'd offer a dear friend can change your relationship with pain. You begin to soften, not in weakness, but in resilience. You stop fighting your body and start supporting it. And that emotional support, the kind you give yourself, can be just as healing as any therapy. Alongside mindset, breathing plays an incredibly important role in how your body processes discomfort. Shallow, tight breathing often goes unnoticed, especially when you're in pain. But that type of breathing keeps your nervous system on edge. On the other hand, slow, intentional breathing, where you inhale through your nose, let your belly rise, and then exhale fully, signals safety to the brain. It quiets the alarm bells that pain sets off. Practicing this kind of breath, even for a few minutes each day, gives your body a break from the stress response and brings your nervous system into a more balanced state. You don't need to sit cross-legged or meditate to breathe well. It can happen while you're washing dishes, waiting for your tea to steep, or sitting in the sun. A few deep breaths can change the tone of your entire afternoon. And over time, this practice becomes a habit, a tool you can reach for whenever pain starts creeping in again. What's also worth exploring is how light affects your body's ability to manage pain. We often underestimate the healing power of natural light, especially as we get older. Spending more time near a window, or better yet, outside in gentle sunlight, supports your body's production of vitamin D, which plays a role in bone and muscle health. But even beyond the science, sunlight lifts your mood, resets your internal clock, and makes you feel more connected to the world. That connection itself can be medicine, especially when pain makes everything feel smaller and more closed off. And speaking of connection, creative expression is another often overlooked ally in managing discomfort. Doing something with your hands, whether it's painting, knitting, woodwork, or even writing letters, draws your attention away from the pain and into the present moment. You're not just distracting yourself, you're shifting focus to something that brings satisfaction and meaning. That kind of focus has a calming effect on the brain. It builds a sense of purpose, and that alone can reduce the intensity of pain. Some people find comfort in returning to hobbies they once loved, while others discover something entirely new. What matters is the sense of ownership it gives you. You're creating something, a story, a piece of art, a feeling, and that creation becomes a space where pain doesn't get to lead the conversation. And finally, there's something deeply healing in ritual. Having even one small daily practice that grounds you, whether it's lighting a candle in the morning, enjoying a cup of tea at the same time each evening, or walking a familiar path, can create a rhythm that feels safe and steady. In a life where pain shows up unpredictably, rituals offer predictability. They remind you that there are still things within your control, still parts of the day you get to design. When all these threads come together, bodywork, temperature, breath, mindset, creativity, light, and rhythm, they create a kind of invisible safety net. It doesn't take the pain away completely, but it does make your world feel more supported, more possible, more alive. Each one of these practices becomes part of a toolkit that's uniquely yours, built not from theory, but from lived experience, from trying and adjusting, from caring enough about your well-being to keep searching for what brings relief. Pain may be part of your story, but it's not the whole story. You still have chapters to write, full of strength, softness, and the quiet courage of showing up each day and doing what you can to feel better. There's something incredibly human about wanting to feel just a little better than yesterday. Not cured, not transformed overnight, but simply better, even by a hair. That gentle, persistent hope is what guides many people through the long road of living with chronic pain. And one of the most empowering shifts is learning that you don't have to chase big, dramatic solutions. Sometimes, it's the smallest change in your daily environment that creates the most noticeable difference. Let's talk about sound, not the loud, chaotic kind, but the soothing tones that can help lower the tension that often rides alongside persistent pain. The right music or even soft background sounds like ocean waves, birdsong, or rainfall can ease the nervous system. It's not just about mood. Certain rhythms and frequencies encourage the body to relax and release its grip, the one it's been holding out of habit, fear, or fatigue. Playing calming sound in the background while you go about your day can offer a steady stream of comfort, quietly reminding your body it's safe. Scent can have a similar effect. The moment you breathe in something familiar and calming, maybe lavender, rosemary, or citrus, your brain receives signals that help reduce stress and, in turn, discomfort. Aromatherapy isn't about fancy oils or expensive equipment. A dab of peppermint oil on a cloth or simmering herbs on the stove can create a sensory experience that gives your nervous system a reason to exhale. It brings you into the moment in a gentle way, and sometimes presence is the first step away from pain. Many people overlook the power of hydration, not because they don't care, but because thirst becomes less obvious with age. But when your body is even slightly dehydrated, muscles stiffen, joints ache more easily, and fatigue creeps in faster. Pain feels heavier. A glass of water may not seem like a remedy, but over time, consistently nourishing your cells with fluids helps your body manage inflammation more effectively. Adding a slice of cucumber, lemon, or fresh mint can turn water into something you look forward to, not just something you feel like you should be drinking. There's also something to be said for posture, not in the stiff military way we were once taught, but in the supportive kind that brings relief rather than tension. Over the years, our bodies adapt to pain by adjusting how we stand, sit, and move. Unfortunately, those adjustments can create more problems than they solve. Taking a moment a few times a day to gently realign your body, maybe by standing tall with your feet planted and your spine gently lengthened, gives your muscles and joints a chance to reset. A comfortable chair with proper support or even a soft pillow in just the right place can change how your body feels throughout the day. A surprisingly helpful trick is adjusting how you handle transitions, not the big ones, but the little ones you make dozens of times a day. Getting out of a chair, moving from one room to another, lying down for a nap. These moments can feel like background noise, but for someone with pain, they're often flashpoints. Slowing them down, approaching them mindfully, and preparing your body for each movement can prevent unnecessary strain. You might find that simply standing up with intention instead of rushing actually reduces the sting that often follows. Touch is another source of strength that doesn't always require another person. The warmth of a blanket, the pressure of a weighted lap pad, or the sensation of running your hands through soft fabric can provide a kind of comfort that words sometimes can't. These little sensory cues tell your body it's cared for. They offer reassurance in a language deeper than thought. There's real value in creating a personal space that nurtures healing. It doesn't need to be an entire room. Even just a chair by the window, a cozy corner with a lamp, or a spot with a favorite photo nearby can become a sort of sanctuary. A place where you can rest, breathe, and recalibrate when the pain is especially loud. This space becomes your own little retreat, not from life, but into the part of life that still holds peace, softness, and quiet strength. If there's one thread that ties everything together, it's the idea that your body isn't working against you. It's trying to protect you. Pain is its way of asking for care, for attention, for understanding. It's easy to get frustrated, and it's okay if you do. But what's beautiful is how, with time and patience, you can learn to care for your body in return, not just as a set of symptoms to manage, but as a companion you're learning to walk alongside with more kindness each day. And in doing so, you start to reclaim a sense of control. Not control in the sense of forcing or fixing, but in the way you choose how to respond, how to nurture yourself, how to seek moments of ease. You begin to shape your days not around the pain, but around the possibilities, the good moments, the gentle practices, the self-honoring choices that remind you you're still here, still capable, still deserving of comfort. So if you've made it this far in the video, I want you to know something very simple, but very true. You are not alone in this journey. Your efforts, your curiosity, your willingness to explore new ways of caring for yourself, they all matter. They all count. And they will add up to something real, something healing. If any part of this message spoke to you today, I'd love for you to share your thoughts in the comments. Your experience might be the encouragement someone else needs to hear. And if you're looking for more gentle, practical tips for feeling better at any age, go ahead and subscribe. We've got a growing community here, and there's so much more to explore together. Take a deep breath. Be kind to your body. You're doing better than you think. Here's to living with less pain and more ease, one mindful step at a time.